Okay, so in the live online class, remember, we had done the raceme type of the simple racemose, and we got the raceme. Remember, example was the mustard, then we got the corim, example was the cherry, prunus, and then we got the umbel. No, example was your onion and garlic. Okay, now let us see the sessile type. Remember, sessile means the flower does not have any branch. Wait, I'll just turn on my brush. 1 second, girls, hold on. Okay. So when the flowers are sessile, see here, those were all the flowers that were having a branch. No. Now when we talk about the flowers as sessile, means directly the flower is on top of the stem, no, on top of the rachis. Now here, the first type is the spike, then the other type. The other types are spikelet, then spadix, then catkin, then strobile, capitellum, capitate. Okay, so these are the types. Now let's look at them in detail. The first one is the spike. Now spike is just like this. This is the rachis, no? Then this is the bract. What a bract is, I will tell you in the next lecture. Okay, we will do the types of bracts also. Then directly the flower comes here like this. Directly the flower appears. Okay, so very easy from the outline itself. You can see. So when you suppose you draw the inflorescence, no girls, you don't have to draw all the 3 types of diagram. Whichever is easy for you. If the outline is easy, you draw that. Okay. Because you will not finish otherwise. No, in 3 hours you have to solve like 15 questions. No, you have no time. So you draw the outline only, or if you are good, fast and good, very artistic, then you can draw these hi-fi ones. But it's really not necessary for you to draw all the types. So you can draw either a better one, or you draw the outline also. You will get the same marks. Okay. So again, these are the flowers, these are the plants which show indefinite growth, means they keep on growing tall, okay. And the sessile flowers will be born on the rachis. So the example is Polyanthus tuberosa. Okay, one example, enough. Okay, no need to remember 2, 3 in the note, it's there many. Sometimes 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 example, but whichever is easiest for you. Okay, I find this one more easy, polyanthers, many anthers on a root. You just imagine like that, So Polyanthus tuberosa. Then when we go to spikelet type of inflorescence is in all our food grains, okay? Our rice, our wheat, then the oats, then the grass that we see, right? All these are spikelet, okay? So the grass is what? Panicum species. Then oats is what? Avena sativa. Then rice is Oryza sativa. Maize, Zea maize. Then wheat is Triticum aestivum. Okay, so you remember just 1 or 2 will be enough. Okay, so in a spikelet, let me draw a simple one, okay? Just imagine a corn, a maize. You remember, girls, a maize? No, this is suppose that big bract. Then this is the corn, those corn rows. And it has such beautiful, beautiful hairs. Remember, it has such beautiful hairs. Now those hairs, those beautiful corn hairs, those are actually the female receptive stigma. I know, it's so surprising, They have very long stigma which flies in the wind, so that they can really catch the pollens, They can really catch the pollen when they are transmitted from, miles and miles, kilometers and kilometers, okay, when they cross-pollinate. So something new you've learned. Okay, now if we talk about the spikelet inflorescence, just imagine this is the rachis, okay. Then this is one bract, okay. I will call this as a sterile glume. And suppose this is another bract, I will call it a fertile glume. Now why is it fertile? Because on this glume you will have your male stamens, okay, this is the males. forgive the drawing, okay, because I'm just using my finger. Then you will have the female stigma and style, okay, make it very long, the stigma and style. So this is why this is sterile gloom, because there's nothing here, and this is the fertile gloom because the male and female are born, okay. So this diagram, okay, now you have another structure called as pali, another structure known as lodicule, okay. So you draw the simple one, you draw like this, sterile, let's say 1 minute, sterile gloom, then fertile gloom, then the female you draw like this, and then the males you draw like this. So that is easier, no? Then you can go on again. Okay, so I think this will be an easier diagram for you. So you give this is label this as fertile gloom, then this one as androgyne, then this one as gynogyne, no? Then this one sterile gloom. Then you can label this as rachis, no? So easy way, okay? So the spikelet, let's read what is written over there. It is a small spike where one or more flowers are borne on the rachilla. In the grasses like panicum, the entire inflorescence bears at its base 2 sterile bracts and empty glooms. Okay. Then above the empty glooms are one or more fertile glooms known as lemma. Okay. So a fertile gloom is also known as a lemma. It's just an alternative name of fertile gloom. Okay. Then each lemma, that is your fertile gloom, it will bear a single sessile flower at its axis, and inside the single sessile flower we have a gynogyne and an androgyne. Okay, so example is rice or Rhiza sativa, or maize, Zea maize. Okay, whichever is easiest for you. So let's see the next. Now, if we look at the spadix, have you seen, girls, that lily? Remember, I think if I draw it, no, you will remember immediately. Remember this lily like this, and then it has this wrapping like this. I think you have already remembered it. Now this one is your spadix. Okay, this entire giant leaf is the bract. Okay, and this one is the rachis, and on this are small white flowers, white sessile flowers. Okay. So when you see this flower in the, when you go to the flower shop, you will notice that there are those white things, those yellow things on the rachis. They are not pollens, they are individual flower, okay. And then it's wrapped inside this sort of flower, like leaf-like structure, okay. Now this giant leaf-like structure, which is colorful, sometimes it's white, sometimes it's red, remember? This one is a bract, okay. It is a modified leaf which happens to have color, and it looks like it is a petal. It just looks like, but it's not, okay. Now let's see. Okay, and if you talk about, if you touch that flower, no, you'll feel like it's like your finger. It's very fleshy. So this spadix, it is a sort of a spike, but with a fleshy axis, okay, because it feels like flesh, it feels like my hand or your finger. Fleshy axis that has both the male and the female flowers, okay. The entire structure is surrounded by a large bract called as a spathe. So that covering, no, this giant covering, this covering is known as spathe, okay, that word there. And then what is unique about this is that at the lower part, you will find the female flowers, and at the top, you will find the male flowers. So let's say this is the spathe, no? And then these are those flowers, okay? Then up here will be only the male flower, and down will be only the female flower, okay. When we say that, it means, let's say when you take this small flower, okay, and we expand it, you will find calyx, you will find a corolla. Then you will not find any female, you will find only the androgyne. Then here down you will find the calyx, then you will find the corolla. You won't find any male, you will find only the gynogyne, okay. So I think it's easy enough. The example is Colocasia antiquorum. Okay, remember those lilies, no? Anthurium. Okay, those anthurium that you see in the. Where did I reach this one? 1 minute, girls. 1 minute. Let's me scroll. Yes. Okay. So I think this the spadix is clear. So now we look at the catkin, or another name is amentum. It is a pendulous spike. It is just opposite of the spike. Remember, the spike was like this. No, this is the flower. This one is opposite. This is the bracts. This is the flower. This is the bracts. This is the flower. It just hangs opposite. Okay. And you see this in those kongs, no? Those kong that sell those mulberry, those deep purple mulberry that used to eat when it's hot. Do you realize that each of those tiny, tiny mulberry fruits, each is one flower, okay, which was fertilized and became a seed, and from that seed it became a fruit. Okay, so this is the mulberry, no? Can you? So it's not that one mulberry is one entire flower, no. Those small, small seeds, no, the small, small fruits that you eat in the mulberry, those are one flower, one flower, one flower, one flower. Those are the different, many, many flowers. Okay. So it's like hanging like a pendulum, and it is fleshy. Okay. And the axis is very delicate. Remember, this one is very, very, very thin and delicate. So since you've already seen mulberry, you can describe from what you see, no? It is fleshy, right? It feels like a finger when you touch it. It's soft, okay? Then it hangs upside down. It's like a pendulum, no? The axis is very, very delicate, okay? And the example is Morus indica, which is mulberry, okay? So you can either draw this, or you draw this one, but don't draw both. You will not finish in time. Okay, let's go to the next type of sessile inflorescence. The next one is strobile. It is a modified spike, and the female flowers are borne only single at the axis of a persistent bract. Okay, so there is just such a huge bract. This entire thing is a bract, a huge persistent bract, and inside this is just one flower. Okay, so example of the strobile is Humulus lupulus. Such a funny word, no? Humulus lupulus. So humulus means humor, no, like funny. So it's a funny looking flower, no, that's why. So you laugh because it's humorous. So you can say humulus, okay? Humulus, and then you can write species, SP, if you don't remember the lupulus. Well, I think you will remember Humulus lupulus. So easy, no? And it has one giant persistent bract and just a single flower. Okay, so easy enough, I think. Let's go on to the next. Now this one, capitulum or anthodium or head inflorescence. So if you say head also, it means the same. If you say anthodium also, it means the same. If you say capitulum also, it means the same. Now this is the what the family of Asteraceae has, you know, the family of sunflowers, the family of the daisy flowers, no? All those flowers that your mother grows in the garden, those beautiful flowers, those have the capitulum inflorescence, okay? Or you can say they have a head inflorescence, okay? Or they have the anthodium inflorescence, okay? So remember the structure of a sunflower is like this, no? Then big giant petals. Now what is very funny here is that, remember the sunflower seeds? So you get sunflower seeds, right? So how does the seed arise? If there was no gynosium and there was no fertilization, how would the seed arise? So it should come in your mind that I think those sunflower seeds means that in this central part there is so many flowers, and your guesses would have been correct. Okay, so in here, in this part, the central part, we will call it the head part, okay, or the disc part. Okay, this is the disc part, which we will say it as a disc floret. Okay, this part, the head part is the disc floret. And in the head there are so many small flowers. Okay, and then what else does the sunflower has? It has those surrounding petals, no, that appear to be like petals. Now these petals are also flowers. Why? Because they have a calyx, they have a corolla, and you know what? They have a gynosium in them. Okay, some of them may have only androsium, some of them will have only gynosium. Okay, so that's why, or some of them are sterile. Okay, so if you pick up that mini sunflower, no, that daisy, the weed, no, and you see in the white petal, you will find one small gynosium. It's very much visible even in your bare eyes. You can see. Okay, then since this one, the side one, these, like, it look like the rays of the sun, right? They look like the sun rays, no, sunflower sun rays. So these side ones, petals, side flowers, we'll call them as ray floret. Wow, so untidy, no? Okay, this one is the disc floret, F dot, I'll just write. This one is the ray floret. Okay, like the sun rays, ray floret. Okay, I'll just delete this. You can see there in the image, it will be clearer because my finger is not that good in drawing. Okay, when I expand this, you are seeing the disc floret, this part, and then these are the ray florets. Okay, the surrounding parts here. So I'll just wait for a few seconds. You look at the disc florets. You can see the flowers, you can see the gynosium, you can see the sepals and petals in the disc floret. Then you can see the ray florets. Can you see one female there in the ray floret? Yes, you can see. This is the female inside the ray floret. This part is the calyx, this is the corolla, that is the gynosium. Okay. So all of this is on top of a saucer-like structure known as a receptacle. Okay. So you can see the expanded portion of the ray floret. You can see the bract, corolla, the calyx, the ovary, and you can see the expanded portion of the disc floret, this long one. Okay. So when you draw, you can draw this way. No. You draw this one. You draw only this one, I think, because you will not finish in your exams. No, you have to be very wise while drawing. If you are very fast, then go ahead and draw as many as you like. But it is not humanly possible. Even if you were the Flash or Superwoman or Supergirl, you cannot finish if you draw all this. Okay, so let's go on to the next. Oh, so obviously, what is the example? Sunflower, which is your Helianthus anus. No, it's very easy. Then the next is the capitate. Now this is the flowers that are shown by the Mimosa pudica, means the touch me not, as well as that used to blow, no? That used to play when you were a kid and used to blow. This is the one, okay? Capitate. It's a dense cluster of sessile flowers that appear upon a compressed rachis. Okay, this part is compressed, the central part is compressed, and then it appears as a globe. Okay, like a globe, it gives rise to a globous structure of flowers. So example is the touch-me-not, this one, Mimosa pudica. That is the scientific name of the touch-me-not plant. So it's easy enough, I think.